that we've had 3 rounds of cuts at SF State. That means that we've lost colleagues that we used to work with. Students had less access to classes. We had a new administration in Washington that declared universities the enemy, declared you the enemy. We've had restrictions of free speech, even abductions of students with unpopular views. And on top of that, Governor Newsom announced that he wanted to cut the CSU budget another 8%. But since that time, we've been organizing. A lot of you, some of you were with us on February 22nd, where we had a conference to defend higher ed at San Francisco State. We determined we were going to fight this and that we were going to organize for it and that we would have a lot more people out today than we had at the conference. And we did that. So just the fact that you're here in these numbers, that we had a fantastic event this morning on campus, we had a teach out, we had a speak out, we had a die-in, we called and texted our legislators and said, not only do not cut the CSU, increase the CSU budget and bring back the people you've cut, bring back the programs you've cut, support the students in the way that you've taken it away. So we have a few people to bring you some messages today. We want to continue keeping up that pressure. The fact that the Senate is now considering adding to the CSU budget is not a done deal. We have to keep up the pressure. We have to keep telling them. We have 3 weeks before they finalize the state budget. And so we better be damn sure that each one of you here gets another 2, 3, 4 people to also call or text those legislators to come to the next event that we do to get people out, because we need to keep building. Or, and if we build, and if we fight, because when we fight, all right, so now I'd like to introduce the first speaker, Ali Nursan from the Student Union. Ali.
What's up, guys? My name's Ali. I'm a history and philosophy student. I'm also a member of the Student Union at SF State. And why do you say at SF State? I'm here because I'm pissed the hell off. This is also very loud and in my ear. Genuinely, I've never felt more disrespected as a student. In the last 3 years, this university has been treating me and everyone I care about like a liability. Whether it's the 35% tuition raise, whether it's cutting entire sports teams, or whether it's firing hundreds of lecturers year after year. And it doesn't make sense. Because although they cite declining enrollment, the classes they are cutting are not empty. I had a professor this last week openly tell me that they're leaving this school because they don't want to teach 101 classes with 80 students in them. I almost had to take another semester to graduate myself because there was only 1 seat remaining in the 1 course section I needed to graduate this semester. And I actually had the chance to directly ask the provost of SF State, Amy Suyoshi, how it is that they're cutting full classes while citing declining enrollment. They gave me 2 answers. The first one was that they weren't. The second answer they gave was that those were electives that probably shouldn't have been offered in the first place. So, it's become clear that these university leaders are not making cuts because they need to. They're not making them because they think it's necessary. They're making them because they think they can. They're making them because they think they can continue to spend all of our money on management and investment accounts rather than the students and faculty that make this university work. Does that make any sense to you? No, the hell it does not. And it's funny, because they'll make the cuts sound like they're common sense. They'll make us seem crazy for demanding anything else. They'll make taking away people's livelihoods seem like a natural solution. and they'll make us feel like we're spinning fantasies for thinking that we can protect even a single lecturer in our departments. Does that make any sense to you? No! It's nonsense. It's BS. And what this rally is putting that narrative on its head, saying administrators and managers don't get to dictate the terms of our education. We do. The students and faculty that make the university work are the ones who make the rules, not the administrators that make six-figure salaries for doing God knows what. And the numbers they're throwing out, they're not just numbers. Cutting hundreds of lecturers is something that every one of us feel, because we're not just losing a lecturer, we're losing a person, a human being, a member of our family. In history, we have one lecturer who is set to remain after this semester. They've worked here 20 years, they're almost in their 60s. They've given all of their energy to provide an education to working class students on a salary that doesn't even cover a tenth of their value. But looking at the fall 2025 schedule, they don't look to be coming back next semester. And that infuriates me, that a person who's given everything to this school, who doesn't do it for money, they're not doing it for personal gain, they're not doing it for any of these personal reasons, they're doing it out of a sense of service to their community. There's someone who makes a salary that's only a fraction of our chancellor's $170,000 raise last year. And they're being sent out into the cold because we have administrators that have as much backbone as they have competence, who know the price of everything but the value of nothing.
Damn right!
And there are hundreds of stories like that at this school alone. I'm lucky enough to know one of them, but there are countless more, and in a state that stands as the 5th largest economy in the world, that is ridiculous. Look around us right now. Look at the size of the buildings, look at the companies that inhabit them, and you're gonna tell me that we don't have the money to fund public education? You're either lying to us or you're lying to yourself. So we are here recognizing that our school needs more than it's being given. And we are now coming to the state, we are now saying to the governor and to the state legislators with one voice, including Scott Wiener, that we need 3 things. 1, we need the state to invest into its higher education system to give us a budget that reflects the worth of the working class students it seeks to serve. 2, we're also demanding that they hold the CSU system accountable and make sure that the money we do get goes to the students and faculty that need it, not into investment accounts or the pockets of management. And also, it's sad that I have to say this, but with everything going on in this country, we demand that they protect our right to protest, because whether you're a citizen or an international student, you are entitled to the right to free speech in this country. And I'm standing here demanding these things on the mic because if I have one more lecturer vent to me about how they're being treated, if I have one more student tell me that they're not going to graduate in time, if I have one more person tell me a story like this, I straight up don't know how I'm going to stomach setting foot on this campus anymore. Because all of you know that it's rough being here right now. It's rough being in a school that feels like it's hell-bent on destroying itself. But that's also when I remember, when I'm standing here and looking at everybody here, that we can together bring back this school. That we cannot let the feelings of apathy and powerlessness stop us. If we believe with every fiber of our being that this school belongs to us, that it cannot run without us, because we know it to be true, tell me, can this school run without its students? No! Can this school run without its workers? No! That's right. So are you going to go home and give up after this? No! Or are you going to come back tomorrow saying to your classmates, saying to your coworkers that I am ready to fight for you? So I have full faith in all of you. Together we will not just protect each other, we will protect our school and the education system, which brings every single one of us together. Because right now I'm mad, I'm pissed off. If I had to say everything that was going on inside of me, we'd be here till Friday. But regardless of that, I'm willing to fight. Because when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Thank you.
Victor, if you're here, please come to the stage. And I'd like to introduce next my colleague, Omar Zaza from Race and Resistance Studies. Omar.
It's great to see all of you out here today. And I'm not going to lie, that's a tough act to follow. My name is Omar Zaza, and I am an assistant professor of Arab, Muslim, ethnicities, and diaspora studies in the Department of Race and Resistance Studies in San Francisco State University's historic College of Ethnic Studies. A field that emerged when in 1968 student activists put their bodies on the line out of the conviction that another university was possible, one in which education was an instrument of empowerment and collective uplift. The fact that many of us today teach and mentor brilliant students in the departments that we do is a testament to their success. But I don't need to remind any students or faculty here today that we are facing a full frontal assault on higher education as we know it. Across the country, students are being kidnapped and incarcerated in state dungeons by federal agents, and faculty are being suspended, fired, and deported, all for principled speech against genocide, for daring to assert that human rights should be truly universal. Meanwhile, tuition skyrockets while programs are gutted, departments are slashed, and lecturer faculty brave astronomical layoffs under the directive of a vicious and false austerity paradigm. There is indeed much to be concerned about, much to be angry about. But what I want to say today is that this is not a moment of crisis. This is a moment of clarity. We are bearing the fruits of an educational model that prioritizes corporate profit over people and trades in its mandate to inspire intellectual community and critical thinking for total capitulation to the basest modes of power. When we abandon hearts and minds for dollar signs, we walk down a troubling road, a road whose endpoint is a social order in which the age-old mandate of intellectual efforts to challenge social inequality through independent thought and collective study is demonized rather than celebrated, a social order in which investment in systems of violence, death, and destruction is touted as a sign of progress rather than the deep betrayal of humanity that we know it to be. Shame! When we commodify education, we dehumanize students and faculty. And today, we confront the critical depths of what that dehumanization is in precarity, in the erosion of communal and intellectual resources and programs, and institutional violations of academic freedom, student, faculty, and staff rights, even human rights as such, all to bolster the prospects of indiscriminate profit. Boo! I not only teach at a CSU, I began my intellectual journey in the system at CSU Long Beach as an undergraduate. I saw firsthand how corporatization dismantled educational integrity and faculty livelihoods. I remember the so-called furlough days. What was that? But I saw something else too. I saw how the joint opposition of all negatively impacted by this collective dehumanization made a difference. I saw the power of refusal. In 1968, strikers also confronted an educational model that put the profits of a few over the empowerment of the many. They said no. Today, we're also here to say no. The fight for sanctuary campuses, for full academic freedom, in which anti-racist pedagogy against all forms of oppression, including Palestinian genocide, is defended in the classroom as well as the quads. The fight to reinvest in the people and the classroom. All of this begins with the fight against the corporate university. We are not here to ask. We are not here to ask. We are here to demand our representatives vote no cuts and fully reinvest in the CSU. Restore all that has been lost. Rehire faculty. Restore cut programs. Reinvest in students, faculty, and staff. When we fight. When we fight. Thank you.
United will never be defeated!
Thank you. I'd like to next invite to the stage Fong Han, who is the aide to San Francisco Board of Supervisor Jackie Fielder, who is one of us who taught in race and resistance studies from 2018 to 2020. Fong Han.
Good afternoon. My name is Fong Han. I am a proud beneficiary of a public education, a supporter of workers, and also a proud DSA member. But today, I'm speaking on behalf of District 9 Supervisor Jackie Fielder, who regretfully cannot attend, but wants to share this message with you all. Students and educators, today I stand with you in solidarity, in defense of the attacks against higher education. As the Trump administration attacks DEI policies, criminalizes student protesters, and bans books, we are seeing a historic rollback of the advancement to public education and academic freedom we have fought so hard to win. The CSUs are the largest public university system in the United States, serving more than 450,000 students, many of them low income, first generation, many of them from immigrant families, and many of them who are seeking an education to escape from poverty. It is one of the crowning achievements of the California public education system. In spite of this, the California State University system is facing devastating budget cuts. SF State has already suffered a $15 million budget cut and lost most of its lecturer faculty. Essential academic programs, majors in sociology, physics, and biology are being downsized and facing a $25 million budget shortfall. More programs are expected to be slashed. For students impacted, these are life-altering decisions. We must be clear, any further budget cuts would be disastrous. As a former lecturer of SFSU, this hits incredibly close to home. I am a believer in the transformative power of higher education. I am constantly inspired by the passion, curiosity, and activism of young students. I am inspired by their belief that a better world is possible for themselves, for their families, and for future generations. Our students deserve to be supported and raised up, and the hardworking staff and faculty of San Francisco State deserve a living wage. Let's be clear, I understand that we are facing a budget crisis and painful cuts are sometimes necessary. However, I will not support these cuts to our education system that will clearly have a disproportionate impact on the success of students. We must call for renewed investment in our universities and the renewed investment in the opportunity, success, and future of every student, which is why I urge the state legislature to rescind their proposed budget cuts to the CSU system. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to say that many of us are understandably distrustful of elected officials. But I also want to say that sometimes we get our people into those positions where they can advocate for us, where they can co-govern with us, not over us. And so I really want to thank Jackie Fielder for being one of those people. I want to bring up another one of those people, my fellow Oaklander, Victor Flores, who just got elected to the BART board. Victor.
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
First, it's a privilege to be able to stand here and speak with all of you. My name is Victor Flores. I'm the new BART board director for District 7. I represent Bayview, Hunters Point, Oakland, and other parts of Alameda County. First, I want to acknowledge the work that our faculty and students do every single day, whether it's educating, counseling, whether it's you educating yourselves to take those tools, to go back into your community, to uplift them, and make sure that we redress the harms that our government has done to those communities. I want to say thank you. Now, you all know better than me the financial challenges that come every single budget year. This battle today is not one that is happening now. It has continued to happen year after year, and that is unacceptable. Whether it's the increased tuition, but the insufficient resources, whether it's the cost of living and the lack of increase in wages. You all know the struggles that you face and our communities face that are being displaced by the high cost of living, that are being pushed to the fringes and out of state and the communities that we grew up in. I am someone who has been changed by our educators. I grew up in East Oakland's Fruitvale neighborhood. I am the son of 2 immigrant parents who work 2 to 3 jobs every single day to put food on the table. And as hard as they tried to keep me out of trouble, I did everything that I could to get into trouble. At 17, I was arrested, charged as an adult, and did 8 years before paroling in 2017. I would not be where I am today as a BART board director without 2 groups, my family and my mentors who were educators, who pushed me to continue my education, who pushed me to challenge myself and to see a world outside of those 4 walls. So trust me when I say that this outcome was anything but certain. And even out here, as a non-traditional student, trying to rebuild my life, trying to start from square one, I found my support in those educators, in the instructors, the professors, our counselors, and my fellow students who also knew the challenges of the neighborhoods that we came from. So I share my story to once again say thank you. Thank you for the lives you have changed. Thank you for the lives you will change, for the communities you're investing in. Because at this time when our educational system and our students are under attack, being disappeared, this is a time to stand united, not to attack, and invest in our educational system and our future leaders, our leaders of today. So, as an elected official who's also distrustful of sometimes other elected officials, I want to say that I stand here before you to support you, to make sure that we fight for the investment, for the dignity, the fair wages, and the educational system that we deserve. Because if that's not worth investing in, then our policymakers need to reevaluate where their priorities lay. So thank you so much. Let's fight. Let's go out there and win. Thank you.
Are you ready to fight? Damn right. Are you ready to fight? Damn right. Are you ready to fight? Damn right.
Hello, so I'm the last speaker for today. We had a long day. My name is Blanca Misset. I teach in the French program and modern languages. Although I don't know how long the French program is going to exist. As many of you know, our campus is going through radical restructuring. Some of us have been asked to teach outside of our discipline. It's called redeployment. And I'm a literature professor, but I'm going to be teaching the art of comedy, a drama class in the fall in front of 80 students. And what I told the administration is that because I've been going to all of these budget forum meetings and all the talks they've been given, I've seen great performances of bad comedy. I could instruct our students what not to do. More seriously, I don't want to repeat what the rest of the amazing speakers said today. What I want to say is that we're setting the foundations to fight back for a university. And when we're fighting back for a university, for a public university, we're doing it just, of course, to demand the money that we need. We want a full refund, but we also want to be the ones controlling the budget. Because one of the problems we have in this state is that there is always this blaming game between the governor, the legislator, the CSU chancellor, and the campus president. Someone is always blaming the other, that I gave the money, but the money is nowhere invested. And the problem is that we are not controlling where the money goes. And we need to be the ones deciding where the money goes. And we want to make sure that if the legislator votes for more money, this money is decided by the faculty and the students to go into the classroom, not to go into investment funds. Because how can we explain that at San Francisco State, we're bleeding money, we're bleeding faculty. We have now an 18 million budget shortfall, 18 million. But the CSU system has 7 billion invested in the stock market and 2 billion in reserves. How can we explain that? And how can we explain that the state of of California that announced that we needed to cut again the CSU system by 8% because there was a budget deficit in December. And then they found out in January that we did not have a budget deficit, we had a surplus. And actually, if you look at all of the states in cash of the state of California, we have $26 billion because we're the 5th economy in the world. But then when they find out they have a surplus, they don't rescind the cuts. They keep the cuts of 8%. And guess why the legislator had to start thinking, maybe we cannot cut 8% the CSU, maybe we need to increase it a little bit. Let's say 5%. Yeah. Why did they change their mind? It's because the organizing work we've been doing. It's because they're terrified of our power. It's because they saw Sonoma faculty and students get on their ass and call them and scream at them and say, you cannot cut our university. It's because they saw San Francisco State rallying and organizing for this day of action and putting up a tremendous conference in February, and they're terrified of San Francisco State. They're terrified of our campus. Because last year we went on 2 huge strikes in our campus of faculty. And we won increases, and we could have won more, and we will win more next time. And also we had the most powerful encampment that won concrete divestment wins. So they know we have power. Then this is why we need to keep fighting. And so there's different ways we can keep fighting. There is one way we can keep fighting is to make sure that the 5% budget increase gets passed in the new budget, and that we do not need to suffer 100 layoffs this summer, as the San Francisco State Administration has promised. And so the thing we're going to do is we're going to pass out a petition, we're going to ask you to sign it, and we're going to be collecting the names of everybody signing, because we use petitions to organize. And so we need everybody to sign this petition, because we have folks who are going to go to Sacramento to look in the face to all the legislators and tell them that if they do not vote for this amendment to increase our budget, they're going to be in big trouble, because we are going to continue organizing. Because we have May Day coming up, and our union is going to be out, because on May Day we're going to be here in Civic Center. In May Day we're going to be in Oakland, because the Oakland Education Association, the Oakland Teachers Union might be going on strike on May Day because they're facing retaliation, because the school district is going after the teachers and the free speech of the teachers because they dared to hang a Palestine flag from a school. And they fired faculty for that. And the union is going to go on strike to demand funding and to demand free speech. But also the fight does not stop on the budget. It does not stop on May Day. Our union is going to go bargaining. Are we going to prepare for a strike again? Are we going to prepare for a strike with our brothers and sisters of the Academic Workers Union, the UAW Local, which is a fantastic ally in this struggle? And we are ready. We are ready to shut down the campus, because we have shown that students, faculty, and staff on this campus have their shit together, and when we organize together, we fight and we win. So when we fight, so we're gonna march a little bit more for 10 minutes, and just 10 minutes, but let's do the best chance of our life. Let's put all our energy out, and let's make sure that we are gonna be back, because this is not the end, this is the beginning of this fight back. We have a very vicious administration at the federal government that is targeting our universities, and we are not done fighting. We are just beginning to awaken our power again and to stand up for our rights. Let's start marching again.
When students are under attack, what do we do? When faculty are under attack, what do we do? When librarians are under attack, what do we do? When coaches are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? When faculty are under attack, what do we do?